Hey everyone, welcome back. I've got my friend's car in, his name's Richie. He's recently bought this Bora and it's got head gasket problems, which only really became apparent on his drive home. He doesn't really fancy taking the car back and getting a refund on it because he's quite fond of it. So yesterday, after bringing it in, I tried run it up to temperature and it wasn't pressurising coolant for me, so I've been out, I bought a block tester, sniff test. The results are a bit inconclusive because the fluids turn to a really dark green, so it's still a tinge of blue in there, but it's supposed to turn yellow. Holding the test kit next to the exhaust and giving it a few draws on the air, it turned yellow within about 4 pumps. Doing it on the expansion bottle, it turned green in about 1.5 minutes of pumping, which is longer than it says on the box as well. But I do want to make sure that it's not in the early stages of a head gasket failure. Judging from the fact it's gone green, I've decided that we're going to go ahead and take the cylinder head off, send it off for a skim and a pressure test, and change all the head gasket, the valve stem seals, the camshaft oil seals. We're going to do the cam belt, the water pump, give it a service, and there's 1 or 2 mods that he'd like me to do to it, which involve a welder and some pipe. But for now, I'm going to start stripping this down, and I'll come back to you when we've made some good progress. I've got a new phone, so I've managed to do a wide angle lens. It's really nice. I don't have to stand really far away from what I want to look at like my old phone, and with a bit of luck this one should be a bit quicker at getting stuff uploaded. But anyway, a bit irrelevant really. The weather was nice 5 minutes ago, nice and sunny, but it's gone dark again now. Never mind, I have to switch the lights on. Quite a late start for me today. It's 10 to 1. I've not long been here. Had some stuff to deal with. My partner's in hospital. So yeah, had the kids to take to school this morning and go and see the missus. But I think she's on the mend. Anyhow, speak to you in a bit, guys. Ta-da. Well, I've got Richie's cylinder head off his Bora, and as suspected, we've got a few little niggles. I don't know if you can make out with the camera, but we've got a nice tight seal all the way around this cylinder. And we've got a nice tight seal all the way around this cylinder, and that's given away by the indication of a nice circle sitting around it. Well, on the central 2 cylinders, 2 and 3, the back of the circle here is darkened quite a lot, and there, which would indicate that carbon deposits are finding their way out the cylinders and straight into the coolant channels. There, 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 there. Moving over to the cylinder head, which is on the bench. It's exactly the same signs here and here. This has got a nice tight seal. This has got a nice tight seal. This hasn't, nor has this one. Looking at the gasket, it's exactly the same story. You can see on the gasket actually where it's been cleaned up by the carbon, if it weren't for better words. It's really nice and shiny there, and the same there. Bear in mind that this is the top of the gasket. On the bottom of the gasket you can also see the carbon deposits there where they've been leaving the cylinder and escaping through the head gasket into the coolant channels. So we're going to get this head stripped down now, get the injectors out, get the glow plugs out, valves out, and get this away for a skim, because I mean, if it's lifting in the middle, I doubt it's very straight. It's probably got a bit of a warp going on. Had a bit of hassle on the process of getting there and creating this pile of bits and that pile of bits. These lower crank pulley bolts were an absolute mare. There's nothing new on these engines. They get rounded off, cheese bolts they call them. So somebody's done them up in the past. You can see that there's evidence of like a Torx bit being jammed into them. That one's not too bad. That one's perfect. The others, however, have been eaten up inside, so I had a little bit of a battle with those, but just hammer a socket over the top. I'll replace these anyway. That's that. So I'm going to start stripping the head down, cleaning this up, and I'll give you an update later on, guys. Bye. Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Bradshaw's Workshop. So we've had a few mishaps with Richie's Bora. We managed to snap a glow plug off in the head. Not to fear though, we are Back on track now, although losing a day through a migraine. I'm back at the workshop and I've got some new tools, some new drill bits and an M10 by 1 tap. We're going to have a go at trying to get this glow plug out the head. Let me switch the camera around and you'll see what we're on about. Okay, so Richie's head's on the bench. It's stripped down with the exception of the valve stem seals and drilling out this glow plug which we've got snapped off in here. I've already made a start on drilling it out and I'm really impressed with how easily the material comes out with a nice set of drill bits, new drill bits. You can see all Richie's head completely disassembled on the bench here. Most of this is in order, so you've got the bearings and injectors and your hydraulic lifters, you've got the camshafts, you've got the valves and the valve springs and all the collets in a nice pot there. So I'm gonna crack on with drilling this out. I'm hoping that I can get through to the shank of the plug where there's no thread, and hopefully either use some kind of extractor or we'll go up in 0.5mm drill bits until we're at a point where we can run the M10 by 1 tap down there, which I picked up this morning. It's over here somewhere. Now a couple of new bits and a couple of old bits actually. The store that I went to only had old bits of the old M10 by 1 tap, but it only cost me £1, so I can't complain at that. I've got a couple of extractors as well. I mean, this one was only £1 and I think this one was £1.50, and a spare M10 by 1.25 tap, which is for something else. I like going to an older shop because you know, especially with second-hand tools. Now a lot of people are turning their noses up at a second-hand tool, but I've got the ethos that, you know, if it survived 20 years already, it's probably going to survive in my hands. So it beats going to a high street retailer or an industrial estate retailer, should we say, to pick up tools that probably won't last, that are made of cheese. Although saying that, these did come from a high street place, but I'm already impressed with the cut on the first one straight away. So I'm going to crack on now. I'm going to try and get this drill bit through to the blank on the thread and see how we go. I'll give you an update in a bit. Bye. Right, we've got the glow plug out. There's not much left of it now. You can see where the threaded section had to be drilled out. Head's looking good, there's no lasting damage. I've run a tap through all of these and test fitted an old glow plug. So we're good to go with that. I'm now going to take this for a skim. See you soon.
Steps back to get to where you're going. Just research where you're going. A t-shirt where it's snowing. A preacher not quite knowing what he's saying. What he's saying. I don't wanna be around when you lose control. I don't wanna be around when you lose control. I don't wanna be around when you lose control. When you lose control. It's so hard to hold all this weight up on my shoulders. I hate to say I told you so. Close your eyes and listen. Look from somewhere different.
cylinder head refacing whilst you wait. See you inside, guys. Okay, well I'm at Derek's. I'm just going to stand on the sideline and watch him. Well, it's Monday afternoon. I thought I'd do a quick update before the head gets fitted. It is now built back up. All the injectors are back in, injector seals, wiring loom. Sorted out a little oil leak there. They didn't seem to give us a seal for this plug, so I've used some of my magic sticks all on it. The hydraulic lifters are back in. I've lapped 0.15mm off all of the valves so that we don't have any contact with the pistons. Just got to wait for the glow plugs to turn up in the morning, and we're good to go with that. Over on the block itself, which I've got on a beam, I'll explain in a minute, I need to clean up the block, ready for the new head gasket. The beam's in place because I had two vehicles in today. One was a 206, which needed its torsion bar adjusted and some front springs fitting. The other was a 206 convertible, which needed some attention to the rear window. I couldn't fix that one, unfortunately, so I've sent the customer away and to come back with a new regulator. In the meantime, I thought I'd treat myself to an angle tightening gauge. For years I've been using a piece of cardboard and an old protractor to mark out where I need to go, but I'm tired of that and there's an extra pair of hands to hold it in place. So 11 quid plus VAT, can't go wrong with that. Make my life a lot easier. So that's that really. My kettle's boiled, so I'm going to make my coffee and I'm out of here. See you later.